Hello friends, I hope everybody's doing well. Okay, so today we're going to be working on my emergency generator here. And I picked this generator up several years ago, and it had a no start problem because the carburetor was dirty, clogged and whatnot. So from what I remember, I took the carburetor off it, took it all apart. I cleaned it out, but I don't remember if I was able to get the main jet out. What's happening right now is um, after I completed it, I have to run it with the choke on. I even have the choke tied out here, so it would run because it was running really lean and it wouldn't stay running. But when I choked it, it actually ran smooth. So today what I want to do is I want to take the carburetor off it again and take it apart. I don't know. I'm pretty sure from the way it's acting that the main jet is probably clogged. I don't know if I damaged the main jet trying to get it out at the time I was cleaning out the carburetor. What I did here is I'll show you as soon as we get going on this. I'm sorry about the blower in the background. This guy's just not stopping today. He's just blowing his equipment off because it rained. And it may still rain today. What I did was I drilled a hole in the air cleaner here, and I stuck a hose in there because being that it only runs smooth when it's choked, when you go to initially start it, and I have to prime it. So I stuck this hose in here, which I'll show you later. So I can stick the straw through there with either brake cleaner or carburetor cleaner to prime it to start it up. Another problem, which is my fault. 14 months ago, the August before last, we had a tropical storm, and the electric was out here for about, I don't know, 2 days. So I kept gassing it up and running it. And then the last time I gassed it up, I ran it for about 5 or 10 minutes and the electric came back on. I did shut the gas off and I ran the carburetor dry, but it hasn't ran in like 14 months now. I think the first thing we're going to try to do right now is try to start it up and see if it'll run. Now I took a quick look at the gas, and the gas doesn't really look bad, but that doesn't mean anything right now. Alright, so let me get set up. And well, first we're going to start, see if I can get it started with priming it a little bit, and then we'll go on from there. Okay, so far I turned the on switches on. I just turned the fuel on. It's leaking gas. It's leaking gas. So that tells me that the needle and seat's probably stuck too right now. So I don't know if we're going to bother to start this thing up or just... Let me see if it'll start. I just shut the gas back off. Probably won't start, but let's give it a try. I just got to move you over a little bit so I don't hit the camera while I'm trying to start it. And maybe I'll give it a couple of taps on the carburetor. See if I can unjam the see if I can get the needle and seat. Not good for your ratchet, what I'm doing, so. Let me see if we can get it to do anything. Alright, so you see what I mean. It runs smooth with the choke on. You know, as I told you before. So, this generator is too heavy for my table, and I don't have a lift. Generally, what I do to work on these things, I just flip it up on end. It's not going to hurt anything. Make sure you have the gas turned off. I got a nice piece of wood over here. And then it makes it easier to work on. The carburetor's like staring you right in the face here. So, okay, let me reset the camera up. I'm going to get some tools together, and we'll pull the carburetor off and see what we have here. So if worse comes to worse for this, I may have to buy a carburetor, but I always like to try to fix the old stuff first before I go ahead and do that. Okay, so from what I remember, it has a couple of latches on it, and then you could just take off the air filter cover here. And the air filter, I don't know where the air filter is, but in the conditions I run this, you really don't need the air filter, but I suggest you put it on. This is the hose. I drilled through here, and this goes right into the carburetor throat. And then, you know, if it was cold out today, it wouldn't have started unless I gave it a shot of brake cleaner, carburetor cleaner, or something flammable. Alright, so now we have all these nuts here that I have to remove to get this cover off. And I believe there's a nut back here too. So we'll begin by taking all those nuts off. Okay, so you're either 8mm or 5/16. Please use either or, I would say. I'm using a 5/16 socket. I'm just going to loosen them all up first, and then we'll go ahead and remove them. This had to be done anyway, but the Rusty Rooster gave me the incentive to take care of it now. I'm trying to get everything ready for winter. If you've been watching my videos, I got my plow gravely ready. I got my truck ready. You know, I fixed the heater core and that. Seems to be okay after flushing it out. And check out the Rusty Rooster. I'll leave a link in the descriptions and the comments. Check him out. He's very good with the small engine stuff, and he does some electrical stuff. The first time I watched him, I subscribed to him before I even stopped watching the video I was watching. I just automatically subscribed to him. He's one of those guys that you just like from the first time you see him. Great personality, knows what he's doing. Helps out the whole community any way he can. So check him out, the Rusty Rooster. So I believe it's his last 2 videos. I'm not sure. I know the last one, he did part 2 on the generator he was working at. And one of the receptacles, his had, I think 2 or 3 circuit breakers on it. This one only has 1. But he diagnosed the problem because a row of outlets weren't working on that. And it turned out to be that the, well, you watch it. Check him out. Subscribe to him. It doesn't cost you anything to subscribe. I don't want to give away the video. Just check him out. And he has a lot of other stuff he works on that's cool. So let me get this one nut from behind here off. I think this is a 10 millimeter underneath here. Pretty sure. Yeah, it is. I don't know if I have to take this other mounting nut off, carburetor mounting nut to get this off. No, you don't. Alright, that takes care of this piece here, and then you have to, the backing plate here you got to get off too. And what I'll be doing is I'll be taking off, I'm going to check to make sure you're still in focus, you know, still can see what I'm doing here right now. So the needle and seat is sticking on this. When I first got this, the gas tank was pretty crudted up, but all I did was flush it out. And you know, when I was doing customer repair, the shut-off tap here, there's a screen in there too. And what I usually do is, if it's not going to be a big problem, which it normally isn't, I usually take this tap out, take it apart, and there's a screen in there, and you want to make sure all that is clean. I know we have good fuel flow here with this one. See if I can get you. Alright, so right now, take off these two mounting nuts to get this plate off. This one I have to do without the extension on it. I really didn't remember what model this thing was, so I just looked quick to see how much carburetor's worth for this. I can't get that one out. What the heck's going on here? I might have to use a wrench. I might have to wrench this one. Yeah, I can't get that. I can't get this on here right now. I'll be right back to you. I just want to grab a 10 millimeter wrench and see if I can get that last nut out. And we'll continue this. Well, I'm noticing this is a real pain to record here, but what I've done is I took that other mounting bolt out that's holding the backing on. I took that nut off and I got that out of the way. And then what I did was, this is the choke assembly, and I took the breather hose off that. And all you have to do is just lean this off to the side here, and you have you have two wires going to the anti-backfire or the shut-off solenoid here, and there's two wires. You got to trace it up, and there's two wires that I think could hook up any which way, doesn't matter. I disconnected the fuel line here, and now I'm going to pull this up here, and I'm going to disconnect the governor rod and the spring. And then with this, all you have to do is angle the carburetor, and this pulls right out, and then you can just pull your spring off too at the same time. And so we have the whole assembly off now. And then we're going to take the carburetor over to the table here and see what's going on with it. I'll take this bowl off and everything, and we'll see what's going on in there and see about the main jet. And then up here we also have, let me see if you can still see me. You can't, can you? This thing is such a pain to record here. I can't get the tripod set up right. Yeah, there's 2 screws that hold the bowl on. The wires you saw I disconnected or to the anti-backfire solenoid or the shut-off solenoid, whatever you want to call it. And what else did I want to tell you? All right, we'll see what happens with this thing. I'll be taking the idle jet is in here. We'll be taking that all apart, and then I'm going to see if we can get this carburetor to work. Otherwise, like I said, for the price of these carburetors, you just may as well buy a new one for it. So, all right, let me get set up on the table. I'll be back with you momentarily. Sometimes these screws that are holding the anti-backfire solenoid in here are a real pain to get out. What they are is Phillips head. I've had this apart before, but let me see if I can. So what I do is I just take a pair of vice grips, right, and just clamp them on the screw, and they come right loose. Okay, we got that one to turn. Now I'll do the same with the other one. Even though I tightened them up with the screwdriver the last time, I'm still having a hard time, so I just use these vice grips and it works well. There we go. I think I got it loose enough to get it apart. Just a helpful hint. I go crazy with every single one of these. Well, what you could do too sometimes is you could put the screwdriver in there and tap the screwdriver, and sometimes that busts it loose, but I never had no luck with that. Just remember which way the solenoid goes back on. Like the wires are facing towards the fuel inlet into the carburetor. So, plus what's good about making videos is you can look back if you forgot something. And like I always say, and everybody else always says to you, take pictures. It takes 2 seconds to take pictures of everything. Okay, so this one has a nut on here. It actually holds the bowl on, so we'll take that nut off. Oh, I cut the pin off on this, so it doesn't work anyway. I probably had a problem with that too. So what I do is I extend the pin all the way out, snip it off, and you're done. I've been doing that for years. On the long tractors and stuff like that, if you decide to snip that off, when you go to shut the machine off, which I do that with every machine regardless, is bring the machine down to idle, then shut your machine off, and then you don't have to worry about no backfiring and whatnot. Alright, so I gotta see what size that is. It's either 1/2 inch or 9/16 or something, and I don't know what it is in metric. Alright, so it's a 9/16. We'll take that off. We'll see if I damage the main jet. If I damage the main jet, then I'm doing this for nothing. And I'm just going to box everything up and just get a new carburetor for it. Because this isn't even worth the trouble. Alright, now I want to make sure I know how everything's facing here. There's a carburetor drain plug in here. So it's going to be opposite of where the fuel inlet is. And hopefully you can still see what I'm doing here. Sort of, I guess. Okay. Alright, so we have a jet this all has to be cleaned out too. So, alright. I'm just going to take it apart for now and see what we got going here. Now we'll pull out the pin that holds the float in there. Yeah, the needle's kind of stuck in there actually. You know that? I don't know how this thing even functioned. It's actually stuck. I'll unstick this, I'll get it out. And hopefully the seat looks... I think the seat looks okay. What we'll do is I'll clean the seat and everything up with WD-40. Because this is the main thing why I use the WD-40. Because when you use anything that's harsh, like carburetor cleaner, or even brake clean, it's no good for seats, especially with like Briggs & Stratton and Tecumseh, where the seat is actually in the carburetor. I've destroyed a lot of them. I mean, after I saw Mick using the WD, I haven't ruined one seat yet. And plus, I always thought the opposite. For years and years, I thought the opposite. I thought WD-40 was going to be the culprit to ruin any seals, but it's not. All right, let's take a look into the most important part here. I don't even know how the heck this thing... Let me go get the flashlight and take a look in here. Raleys small engines, thanks again. I won this flashlight on Raleys small engines. That thing, it looks pretty marred up in there. It's not looking good. It looks like I was trying to get it out at one time. So I'm gonna try to get a screwdriver to get in there and see if I can't loosen that, because the problem's got to be in here with why it's starving for gas so bad. So let me see what I can do about getting that main jet on. I'll be right back with you. Okay, so I wasn't thinking right on this right now. What holds the bowl on, this is the main jet right here. And now I just sprayed some spray in there. I think the emulsion tube in here should be able to come out. I have to do it from the other side. And let me see if I can get that out. I don't think I tried to take that out the last time. So let's see what happens. Everything here looks pretty clear, but we're going to clean that all up anyway. So I'll be back to you. Okay, so I thought the emulsion tube would... push out from the other side. Now it's slotted in there, and I was able to find a screwdriver to fit in there. I can't budge it. Now I've seen some of you other guys heat this up, and there's no other rubber parts in here to worry about. So I think I'm just going to take the propane torch and see if I can heat it up and get that out, and see if we can let me see if I can get it out and clean it. I don't know. Well, I'll try it. Thanks, guys. Mended Man, Mixed Mowers, any of you guys, I seen you use the torch. It worked. I just kept spraying it with some WD. It took a little while, so it wasn't worth really recording. But yeah, I got this to turn. If I could get the screwdriver back in the notches here. And it's turning out. Whether I'm doing this for nothing, I don't know, but we'll soon find out. With the price of these carburetors, it doesn't even pay to mess around with them. But me, I like to fix all the original equipment all the time. That's just how I am. So yeah, I got it to come out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this out and see what we got going with that. And I already put all the other parts that we have to clean out on the tray here, and that was stuck. I mean, even spraying it with PB Blaster, WD, if it wasn't for heating it up with the torch, I probably would have never even got it out. So, thanks again, guys. Guys, I forgot about the bowl gasket in here. I don't think I ruined it because I had to heat it up towards up here, but I think it'll be all right. I forgot all about that. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens with this. Okay, so I don't have any micro drill bits, but what I did was, I did it a while ago. I stripped off a bread tie. I took all the paper, the plastic, or whatever it has on it. So I stripped that off. And I know for a fact that the last time I did this, I never took the emulsion tube out. Because as you saw, I had to heat it up to get it out in the first place. And I don't remember ever taking it out. There's a lot of little itty bitty holes in here. And I just cleaned every single one out. And they were clogged. And now I'm able to just even the brake clean. It's not even carburetor cleaner. It's pretty harsh on your hands. Let me see if I could give it a little spray through there, so you can see it coming out the holes now. It wouldn't do that before. All right, so I'm going to set the camera up, and we'll clean the rest of the parts here, and then we'll get to. I'll probably put it back together off camera. You've seen me take it apart. Just reverse the process, and all right, I'll be right back to you. Okay, so I'm just cleaning out. This is the main jet that holds the bowl on, I'm assuming. So I'm just going through the holes here and give it a ream. And then over here, it's a little bit bigger, so I used a bigger torch tip cleaner to clean this out. I'll just go over it one more time here, and I'll just take some since there's a rubber seal on here, I'll just take WD and run that out there. I think I told you I forgot about this. It was still on the carburetor. Hopefully I didn't ruin it. Seems to be alright, but we'll soon find out for that. So let's see what else needs to be cleaned here. There's this other, this was the keeper that I had trouble getting the motion tube out. So I cleaned that too. I just took the torch tip cleaner and cleaned it out. And with that I could run the carburetor cleaner through there. You know, you saw me before. I'm using the brake clean. I'm using brake clean. But try to wear your gloves when you're doing this, because it's harsh on your skin. You know, I really couldn't show you when I was shooting through the emulsion tube. I had the glove on my left hand, and it just wouldn't show up good, because the gloves are always in the way when you're doing intricate stuff, as you guys all know. Okay, so I got the emulsion tube pretty clear here. And I'm just going to run that thread tie through there one more time, just to be on the safe side. I think this should cure our problem with running the engine with the choke on. But we'll soon find out. I have to clean. This needle was pretty much getting stuck. Where's it go? It goes in here. This is pretty bad. I gotta watch this little spring here. I'm gonna have to try to clean that up pretty good. I can't even push the seat down in there into the hole here. It's in pretty bad shape here. So I don't have a brush to do that. I just might take a drill bit and just work it around in there, and then I'll just wire brush this needle here and see how we do. I don't want to mess up, you know, where this goes in here though. I just want to get the crud out of there. Okay, so I just took the needle and I'm just running it into the where it seats, into the carburetor. I'm just twisting it. I didn't do the thing with the drill bit like I said I was gonna. I really really rather wouldn't. The biggest problem was the needle was dirty, so I just took the wire brush and just kept on wire brushing it, hitting it with WD, wire brushing it, and it seems to be clean. It's going in and out pretty good, and I don't want to press my luck with anything more on this. I had a heck of a time trying to get anything to pass through this hole here. This is like the idle jet assembly, and then there's 2 holes here, but now when I sprayed the spray through there, it's coming out of both holes, so I guess that's okay now. Okay, so now I'm doing the carburetor. Spray through any hole that you could find here. Wear your safety glasses. Some of these holes only go one way. If you spray it the wrong way, right in the eye, you get WD or brake clean or carburetor cleaner or whatever you're using. So whatever hole you could find, just spray right through it. Okay, I figure I'll just throw this carburetor together on camera here. I'll do the best I can. I zoomed the camera in a little bit so you could see. So what I did was I just stuck the needle back in. Like there's a big hole here, you pass it through the big hole and just slide it back, and then just plop this down in here like so. And then we'll stick our retainer pin in here. It seems to be working pretty good. So the needle is sliding in and out really good now. Before it was stuck, that's why it was flooding out. When we were starting it up before, it was flooding out. So when the bowl wants more gas, you'll see the float it's down. Then you can blow air through it. And then when it's all the way down here, you can't. So hopefully this rubber gasket here is good. Let me center this pin and we can put the bowl back on. And I'm pretty sure that the drain was on the opposite side of the fuel feed. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. This way you can gain access to that if you need to. Now we'll just stick this back in. Let me get the socket. Wherever I put it, here it is. We'll run this down in here. So the problem was all in the emulsion tube here. I wish I had the micro bits, because using the bread tie is a real pain, because it keeps bending on you and stuff. Okay, that's tight. Oh, I forgot to put the emulsion tube back in. Isn't that funny? Yeah, I did. Oh man, gotta love it. Alright, so we just drop this down in here. Should go all the way down, which it is. Stick our retainer jet in here. I'll get that other screwdriver to tighten that up. Why doesn't anybody ever say anything when I do these things? You let me go ahead and put the bowl on. And we are not going crazy tightening this up. As soon as it bottoms out, that's it. And that's it. Not going crazy with that. Now we can put our bowl back on. Did I forget to put anything else in there while we're at it? Nah. Nah, I think we're pretty good with everything. Alright. Just snug it up. You don't have to go crazy with it. Okay, now we'll put this idle jet assembly back in. Just drop it right down in there. Is that all the way in? Can't tell. I guess it just drops in like that. I wonder if this is missing some kind of seal or something. I don't know. I'm not sure. This thing basically just fell out when I let me try something different here. Let me just get this down in here first. Okay, that's all the way down. Can't go any further. Let me just stick this down in here like this. I don't know. I would say it never leaked, so I guess it's okay. Now I can put our base idle screw back in, so I can get it in. I'm just going to turn this out two turns. Half, one, half, two, and just a quarter maybe. I could always adjust this if I have to on the machine. So, alright, so the only thing I have to put is the anti-backfire thing back in. And the wires on that have to come out this way, and we're ready to put the whole thing together. I'm going to put the whole thing together off camera, just reverse procedure from the way you saw me take it apart, and then we'll see if it works. Okay, this I had to bring you back for a second. If you see, where the heck am I here? Oh, okay. Alright, so there's this rod here. It goes into the choke assembly here. Okay, so this rod, if it's flipped around the other way, you can still hook it up to this, but the choke won't work. And I found that out, like, pretty much having this completed. So what I had to do is pull this whole assembly back off here, flip this piece of linkage here around so it's facing upward, and then hook it into there, and then the choke will work. Boy, did I go, I was doing some cursing. I'm so glad I wasn't filming that. Okay, so let's see what happens now when I put the choke on. So that worked out good. I have a little fuel leak though. I have to see what's going on with that. I changed the fuel line, that was leaking. I had that apart 3 times already. I took the air cleaner housing back off, but I think it's still leaking now. Let's see what happens when I turn the fuel on. What's that needle? The needle might have stuck again. Can't see how. Well, I have the fuel on right now and it's not leaking. So I don't know. I'll keep an eye on it. I always shut the fuel off and then I run it out. I'm going to run this whole tank of gas through. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw some seafoam in there and run this whole gas, this old gas. I don't know how it's running so good with 14-month-old gas, because this gas usually goes bad really quick. But being that the tank is so big, it probably never had a chance to really go bad. So, yeah, I don't see any leaks. I got the gas turned on. So, well, that seems to be okay. Maybe that needle is sticking a little bit. Maybe with the seafoam, it'll loosen up. I mean, the seat, as you saw, I was able to push the float. You know, push the needle as I was jiggling the float. It was going in and out fine, seating and everything. But it seems to be okay now. And, yeah, that's it. So this way, when it's cold out, I can just choke and start it up and not have to prime it through that hose. I'm pretty sure I have the air cleaner, the air filter element somewhere in there. I don't know where. I'll have to dig for it when I pull some stuff out of there. But I hope you got something out of this. And I want to thank all you guys again about that trick of heating that up to get the orifice tube out, the retainer. And thanks for watching. I'll see you all on the next one.